Good morning, everybody. It is 8:19. Started a little late today. It's July 28th. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to try to get it set up here. Starting a little late. My apologies. Not even sure if anybody's joined me today because I put out the notice a little late, and I apologize for that. All right, so yesterday, boy, boy. All right, so yesterday I thought I saw the news because I was actually like done for the day. Had an okay winner on Amazon. Pretty much was done for the day. Was working, and then I saw a bunch of orders hitting the tape. Good morning, Chief. And I thought it had to do with some China talking about, about the U.S. and Taiwan or whatever. But that wasn't really the reason. I thought it was because I really didn't see anything blaring coming out, but it was actually Japan talking about the yield curve control. That's why the market sold off. So I'm going to get into that in a second. But that's why that sell off happened and the yields rose. Okay. So, big sell off, right? Went right past the most traded price of the week of the month, right? Went right past it, but then went down to basically a common low, right? That we haven't been able to break. So that's what's going on. Had some earnings this morning. We'll get into that. Let's just get this started. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile, most traded price of the week, most traded price of the month, supply and demand, gamma exposure levels to create some type of thesis, some type of theory on how the market will react, right? And it's a bunch of if-then scenarios is what we come up with, right? Price, boy, that can fool you. Price can fool you, right? It's just known as an advertising mechanism, right? But structure will give you a foundation more in the market, right? Structure will give you that foundation. And that's what I try to trade by. That's what I try to base trades off of, structure, right? So let's get into it. If you're new, subscribe, set an alert. That would be much appreciated. You could always give me a nice like if you like what you're seeing. That would also be much appreciated. You can follow me on Twitter, Gonzo719. All right. We're going to get right into the watch list. Okay. And now what I'm going to do really quickly, just so I want to give credit to this Jim Bianco. All right. And I'm going to retweet a couple of his things about what happened yesterday. Okay. And I'm going to show you those pictures. But let's get into the futures, right? Unbelievable. All right. So let's go into the watch list. The Nasdaq's up 1% already. Of course it is, right? Nasdaq's up 1%. Russell's up 0.76. ES is up 0.6. Ether's up 0.53. Gold's up 0.43. Bonds, 30-year bonds are being bought. I am probably a little interested in TLT, okay, with that spike in yields. So the Dow, the Dow's up 0.39, Bitcoin's up 0.39, bonds up 0.4. That means the 10-year yields would slip a little bit. Yeah, it has. Silver is up 0.24. Crude is up to $80 a barrel. Okay, remember I keep telling you guys, headline CPI number. You can't have low inflation with crude, with oil going higher, right? Dollar Dollar is down 0.28. 10-year yield, there it is, slipped 1.47%. It's down to 3.95. It went up to 4 point something yesterday on the Japan's yield curve control news. The VIX is down 5.14%. So that's what's going on with futures. Okay, let's move over to the stocks I like to day trade. So we got BABA. It's up 3% today. Okay, that's churning along. AMD's up 1.87. Coin is up 1.8%. That reports earnings coming up on August 3rd. Okay, I am looking at coin today. I'm looking at it further to hold the 94 level. So right now it's above 94. I'm looking for a pullback, and then I might be interested in coin. Okay, Nvidia's up. Hold on. Nvidia is up 1.6. I mean, these stocks are all up because they got crushed yesterday. Amazon, I had a nice little long trade on Amazon yesterday. Then I took it off. I even let Rosita know about it. I said, hey, I'm cutting this trade. I don't trust this. I don't trust any farther movement. I didn't know the market was going to sell off like that, but that was the right move. Okay. Snow, I mean, the Meta and Qualcomm, I believe, are joining for the AI forces. Tesla. Now, Tesla, I want to see Tesla go over 260. Okay. I will be somewhat interested in Tesla over 260. Okay. Apple, not very interested in it. Is there a laggard today? Not in the bunch. Okay. Netflix, beaten down, but Netflix has hit the 50-day moving average on the daily chart. Okay. So Netflix really needs to come over that 420, 430 level. All right. It's been beaten down. Okay, so that's the look at that. So let's go move on. Top sectors. All right, Roblox, us 1.95%. Procter & Gamble, I believe, reported earnings. We'll see what they did. Estimated 1.2, actual 1.3. So they beat. I like that. I own Procter & Gamble, so they're up 1.459%. Qualcomm, there's news with Meta and AI, so they're up 1.59%. Now they report, when did they report? 8/2, August 2nd. All right, Salesforce up 1. Okay, let's move on to a laggard. Is there a laggard? Now Morgan Stanley, now they have a dividend today, I believe. So Morgan Stanley's down 0.43. All right, there's not a lot of down. Now Chevron did report earnings, and they were down, but now they're flat. Okay. Now, let's move on to the sectors. No surprise. Semis leading the pack, up 1.76%. You know, AMD has been flirting with 110. It just can't go lower than 110 and hold it. And it's underneath key moving averages on the daily. But it is at 113 right now. So is that going to pop? Because that's probably, people are looking at that, right? And obviously we already know about Nvidia, right? Qualcomm. All right, so we got technology, communications. Okay, no laggard. Okay, no laggard. No laggard to speak of today. Now, could this be considered just one big liquidation break? You know, could this be considered a 1-day liquidation break, which took all these sellers out of the market now? Okay, that's possible. Possible. Okay, you want to see the market where it closed. You want to see the market holding there. It is not. It is not there. Okay, so the leader this morning is the Nasdaq. All right, so that's that. Now we have core PCE coming out in 2 minutes. So let me go to that. So that's coming out in about 40 seconds, the core PCE. This definitely should do something, okay? Now we'll watch. To see what price reacts at core PCE. Now, what we're expecting month over month, 0.2, previous 0.3. Okay, year over year, 3 is consensus. Okay, let's see. They're coming out now. Causing some little volatility. Okay. Core PCE came in line. Consensus 0.2 came in at 0.2. Okay, personal income, consensus 0.5 was under. Personal spending month over month 0.4, actual 0.5. And then PCE price index 0.2, 0.2. PCE price index year over year 3, 3. So all in line. Okay. And then employment costs, wages forecasted at 1.1, came in at 1. Okay. So core PCE year over year, this is where the Fed likes to look at. Consensus 4.2 came in at 4.1. Previous was 4.6. Okay. So that is not bad. So this is nothing bad. It's only a little good. Okay. All right, so that's out. Though all that news came out, there's not a ton of movement. There was a little volatility, but the price didn't move that much. Okay. Let's look at some news here. So, let's see. Intel stock rose 6.5% after the semiconductor chip manufacturer posted a surprise profit, saying the decline in sales of its key personal computer chips in the second quarter was not as steep as expected. And then Exxon fell 0.2 after the major oil reported lower than anticipated profit in the second quarter. Chevron stock fell 0.8% after the oil company reported that its annual production forecast was near the low end of its previous estimated range. Procter & Gamble stock rose 1.7% after the consumer goods giants beat quarterly sales estimates on resilient demand for its cleaning products, paper towels, and other household products. Roku stock soared 9.6% after the streaming device maker forecast upbeat third quarter revenue posted market-beating results. Ford stock fell 1% after the auto giant said it expected to see losses from electric vehicles hit by $4.5 billion this year. First Solar stock rose 11% after the manufacturer of solar panels beat second quarter earnings expectations and announced plans to spend up to $1.1 billion on the fifth U.S. factory. Enphase stock fell 16% after the energy technology company third quarter revenue target fell well short of expectations due to weak demand. Wow. All right. That was pretty quick reading. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. So Bank of Japan loosens yield curve control. The Bank of Japan said on Friday that it will adopt a more flexible approach to controlling bond yields by allowing them to fluctuate beyond its target range, while the central bank maintained its negative interest rates. Friday's move sparked uncertainty over whether the Bank of Japan was taking a potential step forward, ending its ultra dovish stance, especially as it struggles to tame elevated Japanese inflation. Headline price growth in the country outpaced the U.S. for the first time in 8 years last month. Japan's benchmark bond yield subsequently spiked to their highest level in almost a decade. The Bank of Japan's decision rounds out a week of major central bank policy announcements, including a separate rate hike from the Fed on the Wednesday. Okay, so it loosens yield curve control, right? So I talked about this. Now, what I want to show, this is not what I wanted to show. Hold on, guys. Apologize for that. Boom. All right. So Jim Bianco, giving him credit. Okay. This is why this moved yesterday. Okay. He says, why does it matter that the U.S. Treasury yield should the Bank of Japan raise its yield curve control cap? Japan is the largest foreign holder of the treasuries, even larger than China, as in this graph. Okay, raising the cap makes Japan's government bonds relatively more attractive than the U.S. Treasury. So in theory, this should sap demand for U.S. Treasuries to Japan government bonds, right? Then he goes on to say, higher JGB yields should make the yen relatively more attractive than the red line, right? So in the red line is Japanese spot price, the yen, and the blue is the 10-year yield. So if the red line should go up, notice its relationship to the blue line, the US 10-year yield. The yen is not rising, but the YCC cap has yet to be expanded. We'll find out tonight. So it loosens the yield control. That's what it did. So that's what caused that spike. If the Japan is the largest holder of U.S. Treasuries, okay, so that's why that happened yesterday. I was really caught off guard. I saw news about Taiwan and China and striking or whatever. I thought that might have been it, but this was why the market moved. Okay, that's why. So if we go back here to earnings, right? Those are the earnings this morning. Exxon, Procter & Gamble, Chevron. Those are the ones that reported. Okay. Meta got upgraded. Block, Square, used to be Square. Block got an upgrade. Okay. Those are some upgrades. So let's look at those really quickly. So you can see here, Block got upgraded to a price target at 95. Went from underperform to outperform. First Solar and Meta. Downgrades, ASML, Enphase. Those are some Snap. Southwest Air. Okay, so transports not looking so hot right now. Okay, so that's that. So now we're going to move over to the good old daily chart. Just take a look. Just take a look. It looks like Chief's putting some scoop news out there. Let's get a look at this daily chart here. So let's zoom in here. Okay. So bearish engulfing candle, right? Took out all basically 3 of these candles and almost this candle a little bit, right? Kind of came down to this low. All right, but closed here at 452.49, but we're already up to 455.70. 455.70 brings us to the midpoint of that move. Right back to balance. Okay. So the market went all the way up here and went right back down to the other end of balance, and now we're in balance. Okay. There's the weeklies. So we run over to 458.12, couldn't hold it, came down and closed, right? There's the monthlies. You can see it came right up to that resistance and sold off. All right, so this is what happened yesterday. Most traded price of the month was 454, right? Right here. So if we pull this out to show extended trading, you can see what happened, right? I said, hey, this is going to be a breakout. This week's most traded price, this week's most traded price, the most traded price of the month. What happened? Boom, we went all the way up, came all the way down. But look where we went down to. Not last week's lows, the previous week's highs. See these highs? We're holding those. See this candle right here? It came right down to it. Because this was the balance area. Look, that's was the top of the range right here, bottom of the range. Came all the way down to the bottom of the range, tested it. Now look what's happening. We're going back up. This is balance, right? So now it's the question of what do we do when we come to here, which is last week's highs right here. What do we do? That's going to be the name, because if we get resistance here, okay, you're going to look at a head and shoulders pattern, and then do we go back down, and do we keep balancing? This is really the key. Can we break this today? What's that level? Like 456.30? Okay, that's the key. It's not easy trade right now. Okay, you'll get to see that when we look at the market profile. Okay, let's go on, move on to the Qs. Now the Qs, right, let's look at the Qs. Still have not touched this 20-day simple moving average. It hasn't touched it all the way back since here. Last time was July 11th, right? Yesterday closed underneath the 8 EMA daily, right? And look, there's that level again. See this level right here? Let's talk about it now. Let's put that on the chart. Roughly around 375 right here. Market support, a little bit moved under it, touched it again, right? We came right down to this level, 375. Okay, NASDAQ right now 380, right here. So the NASDAQ, check this little range out. So we got this little range here. This is our little balancing range here. Right there, right? So I yesterday was looking for a possible long here. I didn't want to get long up here, so I was waiting for this to pull back right there. That's where it is right now. It's right about here. So it's at the top of this range. And does it move high up to these highs? So now we actually got another level here to put. Let's put another level here. Right there. So we have a little mini range here, right? And then we have another range here. So big range and a little range. See that? So 384 resistance, 375 support. Inside this little mini range, we have 380, and it's right there. So can it tag this and take off, or can it fail and go back to 375? That's the question, right? Here's weeklies. Look at that candle this week. Woof. Tried last week, this week, 384, boom, and right down 374, right? Here's the monthlies, kind of got an indecisive candle so far for the month. Here's the profile on the Qs, right? most traded price of the month, 375. Look at that volume there. Bunch of volume here. Okay. Bunch of volume here. So you can see that was the explosive move up, right from balance. See that? This week's most traded price, this month's most traded price, boom. Made a move, came right back. Now look, there's the orange. Let's just zoom in to show you. This orange shows me last week's lows. So look at last week's lows. Support, support, support. These are hour candles, hourly candles. Support, support, support. Look at that. Came down again. Support. Right? Where's price now? Let's look at it. Now let's zoom in to the same chart. Right? There's that last week's lows. That has not been taken out. Support, support. Right? So now we're in the middle of last week. Right here. This is last week. Okay? So you're kind of not in a good area to like figure out what to do. But here's the resistance level. Okay? Right here. 384. See, that's been resistance, resistance, resistance. Came up there yesterday. Resistance, right? So that's the test right here. So I'm going to put an alert here. I'll call this, give me an alert for a resistance. Okay, so now we got an alert there. I have an alert here for this level here. This is the mini bracket high. See that resistance, resistance, resistance? So well, if this gets tested, that's the mini range, right? So have to look at that. All right, let's move on to the Dow. See what the Dow is doing. Dow, right to the 8 EMA daily yesterday. Right, had a bearish engulfing candle, took out the prior day's lows, came right down to here. Right. So where's the Dow now? 354.29. So it's about right in the middle. Okay. Look at the week. Have that breakout here. Tried to go right up to 356 here. Found resistance, and now we closed here, right? So very bearish week on the Dow. Here's the monthly, obviously looking nice. Here's the profile of the Dow. So check that out again. Let's look at this most traded price. It's holding the most traded price of the month. Let's zoom in. This is last week's highs. Look at that. Price is still above last week's highs. That still pretty strong. Okay, look at the volume this week at this level. Boy, look at that. So pretty impressive. Okay, let's look at the Russell, right? I'm really interested in this Russell. God, this is just, oh, really interested in this setup in the Russell. Okay, let's look at it. All right, so we obviously have a resistance here. Okay, now mini range 2 here. See that double top? Where are we at right now? Okay, what did we do? We went up to the top, couldn't find it, went all the way, broke this support, closed right at it. Right? So I was hoping today we get a pullback here. Still have an alert here. Still have an alert here. Don't know if it comes back. We're at 195.50 right now. So 195.50, right? A little but lower than the mid. So you're in the middle of the muddle here. I'm not a fan of right here at all. So I want to see a pullback. We just were told it can't go lower. So I would like to see some test here. Obviously, then it could pop here and then you look for a pullback. But that's, you know, we're going to go test these edges. Just don't know when, right? Maybe put an alert here now. Resistance here. right, so now we got resistance alert there. Closed under the 80 MA daily, but now we're above it. So, and you can see on the weeklies, look at that double top, right? You can see the prior resistance. Okay, monthlies, not out of this range yet, but this is why I'm interested in the Russell. If this is indeed a bull market now, right? Look at the Russell relative weakness, right? It's not near all-time highs. Look at this move all the way from all-time highs to the low. We're still only at the 38.2% Fibonacci level, not even at the halfway, right? So this is why, and the Russell represents more of the economy because it's more small businesses, okay? Doesn't have heavy weighting like the other indexes do, right? So if it does break the 200, I mean, this could run to 209, you know, have to see. Here's the profile, still very bullish, okay? Most traded price of the month right here, 195, okay? You can see resistance and support right here. That's why I'm looking. That's why I have an alert here. If it tests this back, I would like to possibly go long here, okay? But also it can come up here and fail again, and then we could be in balance, right? So that's the question. Let's look at the triple-headed monster. And that, I'm sorry, I didn't even put that up there. So that wraps up the daily charts. All right, now we're going to go to the triple-headed monster. Look at this crazy bond market. You can see we went all the way up here of a high to 4.0 yields. Okay, we're now kind of in the middle of this range. The bond market, man, if this spikes up here, woof, somebody's going to lose here. In the bond market, you know, yields are rising and the market is rising. You know, that usually one of them is going to disconnect. Okay, when, I don't know. The VIX livened up a little bit yesterday, and look what it did. Look what it did. It came right up to this resistance level. Look at that. I have an alert there. 15. Came right up there and sold off. Now we're all the way back to 13.53. Now the dollar. And you notice what crude's doing, right? Crude is at $80 a barrel. Okay, dollar weakness here. So the dollar went all the way down to a low of 100.55. Okay, zoom in closer. Actually, let's just go to weeklies. So, you know, is this the next move up, or does it come back down and test this support? Now we have a weekly support here at 99.58. Okay, so very interesting stuff going on there. Okay, that wraps up that. Now let's go on to my best friend, the market profile, buying profile. Let's go over it. Let's go over it. Okay, now I still don't know if Rosita's with us. I'm not sure if she's still with us, and I'm not sure if she's watching or listening, or she's a very busy woman, so she might not even be there right now. Maybe Wian is. Not sure. Not sure who's out there, but we're going to get into this market profile in volume profile. Let's get into it. All right. So let's lift this up. See what we're working with here. Okay. Let's go over it. Let's look at the profile for the week. Look what we got. We got a balanced profile. Okay. Balanced profile. Where's price? Right here. In the middle. No edge. No edge to speak of. Okay. In the middle of the muddle. All right. And where else are we at? Here's the midpoint. You can see that says mid. 45.93 is the 50% move of yesterday. The price is right there. Can't make that up, right? So this move up came all the way down. Now we retraced it 50%. Right? Big level, 45.85. Here it is. That's the monster level. So now we were just told we can't go higher. We just were told we can't go higher. Okay? The market said not yet. Not yet. We broke this level. Okay? This is in the middle. This is the balance right here. This is the line in the sand. Okay? You hold above this, it's got to be bullish. You hold below it, it's got to be bearish. Okay? Now, this could be the new range. Right here is the lows. Now, this could be our new range and the highs. Okay? Now, let's look at where we're at. So, some nuances here. We have a weak high now. Over the, yesterday's overnight high and the RTH high are equivalent. 46.34, 46.35. That is now a weak high. Okay? There are shorts there. So the overnight high and the RTH high are equivalent. Keep that in mind. If you break that, there is shorts there. Now who's there? Weak hands. The weak hands in the market are there. Okay? What else do we have yesterday? Single prints. Here's a single print. Here's a single print. Emotional selling. Emotional selling. Okay? They don't consider to be cleaned until the market opens, even though we are past these bunch of singles. Still have these singles. Okay? Now, we also have a poor low right here in the overnight. So people got poor location on a short right here. Normally, this corrects. It breaks. Okay? So, with that said, we're in the middle of the model. There's not much edge here. Okay? Today is going to be an inside-out trade. We're going to go this way or this way. You know, we could slightly do that and then just come back to balance and do this. Okay? But that's today. All right? Let's get right into this. Now, let's just look at one thing. I look at overnight inventory. Opened here. Short activity here. Long activity here. We're about 75% net long in holding the highs in the overnight. Okay? Right at the 50% Fibonacci of yesterday's move. Let's get right into this. Okay? Now, we're over this key level. I already said this, right? So you have to be bearish. That means bullish. Okay? So here's a scenario. Okay? We're pretty much, like I said, 75% net long overnight. What you kind of want to see, okay, most likely might happen. You might get a little push up, but then you'd like to see the market pull back. This is a bull scenario, okay? And test this level. Test this level. If it holds, pretty good shot. We're at least going to go and test here. Okay? Clean these single prints. And if there's more strength, you're going to test the most traded price of yesterday. Okay? Which is still up there. And that weak high, and could you break it? Today, I'm not sure if that's in the cards, but that could be the bullish scenario. The next bullish scenario could be, okay, oh my God, we sell into here, into this demand zone, bottom of the bracket, and we start making lower highs. This just means we're probably going to go here and possibly up. All right, moving on to the bearish scenario. the bearish scenario is one or two things, right? First, push up, break this big level that we know that's a huge one, hold it, hold it, hold it, make lower highs. Then you revisit the bottom of the bracket. Can this break it? Don't know, but if it does, we're going to probably revisit the end of this demand, possibly, maybe finally touch monthly VWAP and the 20-day simple moving average. Okay. Other one, we push up into supply, still a supply zone, into this weak high, push up, start getting lower highs, and then we start to fall back. That's the other scenario. Okay. Moving on. That would wrap up the ES. Right? Now we'll move on to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ stronger today. Okay. Here's the NASDAQ. And Qs. Okay, so let's look at the profile, right? What do we have here? We have kind of a lot of volume down here, a little bit of excess, right? Look at our big levels. Big level is 156, 15,600 is right here. Also, just group it together with the most traded price of the week. That is the line in the sand. You're above that, you're bullish. Okay? You're above it, you're bullish. Price is right here. You had single prints here. We're already above them. Single prints right here, too. Okay, so we're above the big levels. You have to be bullish, right? 50% Fibonacci of yesterday's moves right here. We're above it. We're above this level. Okay. Let's look at the inventory overnight. Here's the open. There's the short activity. Here's the long activity. That is about maybe 85% net long overnight. Okay, so you got longs from here and longs from here. Now, what else do we have here? So, yesterday, notice this gap. It couldn't fully fill the gap. That's where it got resistance in the NASDAQ. So that gap has not been filled yet. All right, that's notable. Okay, that is notable. Okay, so what the markets told us was we went through these levels yesterday. Look, right? And then we closed here, right at them, right at balance. And then the overnight, we're over them. Okay, that's telling you for now, sellers could not bring us lower. Do I want to get long from here? No. No, I don't. Okay, we still have there's supply right here. Most traded price yesterday right here. Okay, so this is kind of more setting up for, I don't know, I don't really know right now. I mean, no, I do know. I'm sorry about that. Let's just get right into the scenarios. Okay, we do have now a bracket low here. Right here we have a weak low. Right here, bottom of the range. So that's an important level. Okay, it's a very important level. So the NASDAQ's more clear because the big levels are at the lows of the balance area. It's pretty easy in the NASDAQ. You stay above these, it's bullish. But you break it, boy. Boy. All right. So let's go with the bullish scenario. Okay, really what I want to see, okay, is I talked about that mini bracket right here. We're right at it, at the tops of that, and we're starting to push higher again. Okay, so what I kind of want to see is what we do here. So we could definitely go into the supply zone and come back to this level, right? Also got the 50% retracement here, but you want to see what it does here. If it holds it, then that could be, we could try to revisit this up here. Okay. Other thing could happen as well. Now remember, this is still bullish. You could even drop down here, right? That would be fine. And what? Test this level again. And if we start doing this and start making it, well, that's going to be the move that fuels the move higher. Okay. Let's go with the bearish scenario. So right now, we got longs from here, longs from here. We're already 85% net long overnight. Okay. Top of the bracket now, the big bracket is up here. So supply zone right here, most traded price of yesterday right here. Okay. So if the bearish scenario, you'd want to see a push up into here. If you start getting resistance, fall under this most traded price of yesterday, well, this could make us go right back to the big levels. And then test the bottom of this bracket again. And if it breaks it and holds, we're going lower. Okay. Now, of course, you got this bracket high in this gap. I didn't mention it earlier, but you could break it. I don't know if you go that high today. I don't know. I don't know. But this market is now just nuts. Okay. So the Nasdaq's a more clearer, cleaner setup. Okay. So that's going to be it for me. If you enjoyed the content, hopefully you subscribe. Get a new subscriber, set an alert. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Of course, you can always follow me on Twitter. Gonzo719. So that's going to be it for me today. I wish everybody luck. I wish everybody stay green today. Today is not as easy or simple as setups. You know, some stocks, they're not as clear for me today, so I'm going to put that right out there. I don't see something where I'm like foaming at the mouth. Because the Nasdaq's super strong, it's going towards the top of the bracket. ES is in a different spot. So really not the easiest today. But I'm going to be patient, right? I might just trade the indexes today. Or the futures. We'll have to see. But if you don't hear from me, which you probably won't, everybody have a good weekend. And I'll see you guys back on Monday. Now, Monday is the last trading day of the month. So, and that's it. Everybody have a good day and a good weekend.